Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. But we're sitting up on top of this root system right now. There's a lot of activity coming through here on our tactic cam, and I know we've got one real big 8 I'm after right now. And I've seen him down in a couple other camera locations. I've never seen him come through this area, but that didn't mean that deer hadn't skirted, but there's enough deer activity in here. I think there's probably just a matter of time before I do see, a mature buck in here. But it's into that cold front we've had this week. I was up in Canada yesterday and had an absolute phenomenal hunt, and we did get to end up seeing one of my target 8s up there, and I thought the deer was 5.5, but I really think he's 4.5. And the deer, I had a decoy out and ended up really just boogering that deer, and that was a pretty hard lesson learned, but it was still good. The deer came directly east of me, down a little, just a little. This is the first deer I've seen the entire year move through there. But those big bucks, they are known for taking those, those real thick areas. That's why they get old and survive. But lesson learned. Just when you do use a decoy, I should have known better. A few other things going on with the reason why I had that decoy, but typically if there's not a big running aggressive buck, you really need to kind of lean back or stay away from those decoys. But there were some wind directional changes, and I thought that decoy was going to help me out in a positive fashion, but it did not. But again, it's a beautiful time. This is my favorite time to get out here, enjoy nature. We got the ozonics running, and so we're going to probably hunt. Yeah, we'll probably hunt for another probably 2 hours, and just kind of see what happens. We've got a pretty strong wind. Once that wind switches directly out of the south, then I'm going to be bailing out of here and get a few other things done. So we'll go ahead and get quiet and take you guys on for a Hey. Alright guys, well, I ended up shooting that big 8. He came right up through this area, and he's about 20, yeah, he had to have been right at 20 yards. I reviewed the footage real quick, and I made a great shot on that deer. He's laying dead right here, but unfortunately that footage is a little bit blurry. It hit my hair, it caught the end of my bow, and it focused right on that. But that's life. I absolutely love self-filming on this. It's a huge challenge for me, but the last decade with KOAM Outdoors, I've learned so much about filming and strategies of filming, and it is what it is. So hopefully this does justice. I've got quite a bit of trail camera footage of that deer, and I believe starting back in maybe like mid-October, and it basically, that deer transitioned from another piece of property. I had no footage of this deer throughout the entire year up until that time, and it was about probably half a mile north of here. That's when I first got that deer, and this was the deer that I had mentioned, and probably several other videos. Is down in the bottom here, there was a big 8, and that's him. So basically, what that deer has been doing is he transitioned. He's either coming from there or he's coming up through here. But you know, you just learn so much, especially when you're able to harvest those deer, about what strategies they're using. You know, that's the very first deer that I've seen actually come up this area instead of going back and forth. So, you know, it just goes to show you, I mean, those deer can flat come from anywhere, any direction. And I had a small little yearling back over here that I was watching, and then I turned back around, and here he came right up through here, and you know, I shot him at 20, 22 yards, and he didn't make it probably 60 yards with that swacker. So, you know, that Matthews, this is the lift, shooting 80-pound draw on that, and that thing will freaking pack a punch, and I am extremely grateful. You know, I've got the sponsorships I do, so we're gonna go ahead and probably hunt for another hour or so, see if maybe I can harvest a doe, and then we'll go ahead and get this guy loaded up, get some pictures taken, and move on throughout the rest of the season. I think that was his last step. Really good blood on the tree. Me got hammered hard, boy. There's the arrow. Broke my tip off of it, looks like. There's the tree stand right there. And then he is right there. Hopefully you guys see that belly. Alright, let's go take a look at him. There he is. I'm liking the shot. Alright guys, well, here he is. This was our #1 target deer on this piece of property. This is a non-cord buck. I had just picked that deer up, I want to say it was late October, maybe October 20th, when he first moved through, about a half a mile from here. And I'd seen him several times on the camera, but I had not seen him in person yet. And when he worked up this ridge, I knew exactly what deer that was, and knew I was going to go ahead and try to harvest him. And the Matthews did an excellent job on there with the swacker, you know, firing an 80-pound draw, and that deer, I think it probably only went about 60 yards. So I could see the tree stand from right here, and just cannot say enough about the beautiful day. And I definitely want to give, again, special thanks to all the veterans for what you guys sacrifice, your family sacrifice their time protecting our great country. So we've still got quite a bit of season left, and several more states to go. So appreciate you guys liking the video. Like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature. The best luck on your upcoming hunt.